Guests and graduates of the College of Education, please take your seats. Our program will begin in 5 minutes.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm Beth Malik. I'm the Senior Associate Dean in the College of Education. And on behalf of the leadership, administration, and faculty of the College of Education, it is my pleasure to welcome the graduates, families, and friends, and those joining us via live stream to our Spring 2025 commencement ceremony. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our platform guests, which include our department chairs, and they will stand as I call their name. Doctors Jan Todd, Nathan Clemens, Melissa Wetzel, Tiffany Whitaker, and Pedro Reyes. And our associate deans, Doctors Alex Lucas, Allison Scarrett, and Victor Sines. We also have Senior Vice Provost and Dean of the Undergraduate Studies, Dr. Rich Reddick, and Senior Vice Provost for Faculty Affairs, Dr. Tasha Baretvas. I would also like to sincerely welcome our guest speakers, Cynthia de las Fuentes, and Bachelor candidate, Brenda Savariego. Finally, we have many of our faculty here today seated on the front rows, and faculty who play key roles in our graduate and undergraduate advising seated on the stage. Would our faculty please stand? And it is now my pleasure to introduce to you the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Charles Martinez. Dean Martinez holds the Lee Haig Jamail Regents Chair in Education and the Sid W. Richardson Regents Chair. He is a nationally recognized scholar on health and education disparities and cultural adaptation of prevention programs that support the behavioral health of youth and families from underserved communities in the U.S. and abroad. He and his team have received more than $47 million to pursue this work. Dean Martinez will welcome students, families, and friends and introduce our speakers. Please welcome Dean Charles Martinez.
Bienvenidas, bienvenidos. Congratulations, you are here. We're all here. I am honored to be with you this morning to recognize all of our graduates who will be awarded degrees today, as well as everyone who has helped them along their journey. This is truly a collective moment to celebrate a major milestone in these graduates' lives. We are so proud of you and excited for what your future holds. I recognize that it has been a challenging time in our world for so many. Our fractured society has highlighted vast differences about the visions for our shared future and has made things feel more perilous, especially for the educators, health professionals, researchers, policymakers, and community and organizational leaders that our graduates will become. Yet, at the same time, I stand here on this special day overwhelmed with pride for the sacrifices, commitment, and astonishing effort each of you has put into earning your degree from the College of Education at the University of Texas at Austin. You have courageously leaned into the challenges facing the future of many health and education professions, and you are more than ready to take the next step in your professional journey. As Longhorns, you can take pride in the fact that you are graduating with a degree from one of the very top universities in the world. You have been taught, trained, and mentored by the best of the best in our fields. Our College of Education graduate program is ranked number 4 among all publics in the United States and number 6 in the nation. And we are now UT's highest ranked graduate school across all colleges and schools at UT. Not that we're boasting. While we don't chase rankings, they are an important indicator of our impact and our potential, our commitment to reimagining education and health, the excellence of our faculty, and the work that our graduates are doing to change the world. It signals to all that this work matters. Community impact and dedication to serving others matters. As a college, we are delivering the talent our state and communities need into the workforce. You, graduates, are well prepared to change lives. Everyone in this room today understands how challenging it is to be admitted to the University of Texas at Austin. And of course, it takes immense support to make it to this point in your educational and professional careers. I'm acutely aware of the encouragement you have undoubtedly received from your families and friends, from your communities here and elsewhere, from your peers and your colleagues. And so I want to take this time to recognize those who have helped lift you up so that you can go on to lift up so many others. Graduates, please help me acknowledge those people who have supported you along the way. I also want to recognize our first generation graduates. As a first generation, thank you. As a first generation college graduate myself, I know you have thrived despite facing unique challenges along the way. I think today, every graduation of the one day my father set foot on a college campus was this day, the day I graduated, what it meant to him and what it meant to me to have him there. You have the unique ability to see and experience things from a fresh perspective and to ask questions that few others have asked about how we can better live up to our potential to create belonging and transform lives. Remember, if you are the first in your family to graduate from college, you are also the last first generation college graduate in your family. Everyone behind you will have you to look towards, for you to cheer them on, to encourage them, and to nudge them, just as your families, mentors, and champions did for you. Let's honor all of our first generation college graduates today. Graduates, despite every challenge, you have held steadfast to your commitment to be in service to your communities. You have dedicated yourselves to a calling that is about ensuring the best possible future for others, whether that be teaching in a classroom, increasing the quality of people's health, deepening our understanding of physical culture and sport, or uncovering ideas that reshape what we know and understand about these fields. Your degree has prepared you to have a profound impact in the area that you have chosen, to disrupt disparities and increase equity for individuals and communities near and far. What you have started here in the halls of Sanchez and Belmont is meaningful work that will truly change the world. We are in awe of you. Today we celebrate your work, your achievements thus far, and those to come. Today we celebrate you. We are all familiar with our UT motto, "What starts here changes the world." But it's not just the what starts here, it's also the who. I firmly believe who starts here changes the world. And you, graduates, you are the who. Now I am so very pleased and honored to welcome our undergraduate student speaker, Brenda Savadiego, a proud, cheer for her, yes. I can't wait for you to hear her. She is a proud native of Brownsville, Texas, RGV in the house, and graduate of Lopez Early College High School. She's a distinguished member of the College of Education class of 2025. A lifelong athlete, she is earning her bachelor's degree in applied movement science from the Department of Kinesiology and Health Education. Nice clap. Good shout out from the chair. That's right. As a Texas education scholar, Brenda directed a mentorship program designed to foster and guide the next generation of young leaders. During her time at UT Austin, she stayed active by playing intramural volleyball and basketball, while gaining valuable experience through internships for Texas Performance Nutrition, Texas Football Athletic Performance, and Texas Olympic Sport Athletic Performance. An active member of the Austin community, she organized a successful toy drive for 3 years, distributing more than 1,000 toys to children in underserved areas. Following graduation, Brenda will begin her career as a minor league strength coach and conditioning coach for a professional baseball team. Unnamed, but maybe she'll tell us. Please join me in welcoming Brenda to the lectern.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I have the utmost honor to be this year's class of 2025 undergraduate commencement speaker. Thank you to everyone for being here to support your graduate. I know that we all appreciate it and are filled with joy that you all get to share this special moment with us. UT, you were a challenge, a dream, a battleground, and a blessing. As a first-generation student, I walked onto your grounds carrying my family's hopes and my own uncertainties. Today, I leave with pride, memories, and long-lasting relationships that have changed my life for the better. Thank you for allowing me to grow into what I didn't know I could become. Familia, please stand and be recognized. Lo hicimos, sí se pudo. This is not just my degree, but ours. Without the constant support from my circle, I would not be standing in front of you all today. Graduates, I am no different than any one of you. We all came in with a passion to pursue. Some of us didn't know what that passion looked like, and maybe some of us still don't know what it looks like. But at the root of it is the will to create meaningful impact on others. We all have a story to tell, stories that continue to unfold as we discover who we want to be, what we stand for, and why we do it. Through the trials and triumphs, the wins and the losses, the heartaches and the overwhelming joy, all the emotions that cause us to grow as humans, in return, have helped us become better professionals. The times we spent stressing at PCL or any coffee shop in Austin, the good times we spent at Texas football games, volleyball games, baseball games, softball games, and any other events, the times we spent going to brunch or simply having a good time with our friends that then became family. Remember that time that you wanted to drop out? Yeah. Embrace these moments. They give us the ability to embrace who we are and the freedom to chase who we want to be. It is an opportunity that we have, but it's up to us to go after it. Brené Brown said once in a conference, "Don't underestimate the power that you have with the people that you teach." Meaning that in any conversation we have with anyone, we have the opportunity to speak life or death. We are all educators of some form, whether it's teaching a K-12 student how to read or do math or science, coaching elite athletes, personal training, treating a patient, leading a community engagement, or managing a business or organization. We are constantly educating. We are graduating from the College of Education at the University of Texas at Austin. Take a moment to reflect on that. Remember, in anything that you choose to do, or wherever life takes you, lead with passion, work extremely hard at it, and stay true to yourself. Create the long-lasting impact that we know we can create. Let us go out there and change the world. It's the only thing we Texas Longhorns know how to do. What starts here changes the world. Don't waste your opportunity. Continue to pave the path for yourselves and others. We are not here solely because of our own strength. It is because of those who came before us, those who chose to walk alongside us, and those who will come after us that we get to be here. So on the count of 3, I would like everyone to yell thank you to their loved ones who are joining us this morning. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Thank you, Brenda. We are lucky to have individuals like you advocating for education and health. I am confident that you and all the graduates here today will truly change the world. Thanks again. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today, Dr. Cynthia de las Fuentes. A renowned bilingual counseling psychologist, educator, and scholar, Cynthia earned her bachelor's degree in psychology from the College of Liberal Arts and her doctorate in counseling psychology right here in your College of Education. She taught as a tenured associate professor of psychology at Our Lady of the Lake University in San Antonio for 14 years before engaging in full-time independent practice. Thank you, Cynthia, for joining us on this momentous occasion as we celebrate our scholars, their academic journeys, their many achievements, and the meaningful careers they have chosen to embark on as educators, researchers, health and sport professionals, and community leaders. The eldest daughter in a Mexican-American family, Dr. de las Fuentes became the first in her family to attend graduate school, choosing to specialize in bilingual counseling, a decision that would shape her career as both a psychologist and an advocate. Her practice is deeply rooted in feminist theory and multicultural therapy. Cynthia has dedicated her career to serving diverse communities, particularly Latinx and immigrant communities, and championing social justice in underserved populations. She gives voice to those who have too often gone unheard. Her steadfast belief in the power of psychology and ethical practice to ease human suffering reflects a compassion and humanity that can't be taught. Elevating her remarkable work as a practitioner, Cynthia has held numerous leadership positions as well. She served as president of the American Psychological Association, where she was also a public interest directorate fellow, and was a founding member of the National Latinx Psychological Association, demonstrating her commitment to enhancing the field of psychology on a wider scale. She's a congressional fellow in the Women's Research and Education Institute. Cynthia's passion and conviction that psychology can change people's lives is a true testament to her character. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Cynthia de las Fuentes.
Thank you. Fellow Longhorns, it's so great to be back on campus. Every time I return to the 40 acres, I can see how much things have changed. But being here with you today, I realize that some things haven't changed. That burnt orange spirit is as strong as ever. Distinguished faculty, proud families, honored guests, and most importantly you, the graduates of the College of Education at the University of Texas at Austin. Thank you for this invitation to return to my alma mater. When I look out at all of you, I see hope and possibility, not just for yourselves, but for all the lives that you will touch, whether you're heading into the classrooms, clinics, research labs, sports, athletics, or community health settings. Y para las familias hispanohablantes, quiero empezar dándoles las gracias a ustedes, porque este logro también les pertenece. Los sueños y sacrificios de generaciones se han hecho hoy realidad. El progreso no sigue un curso constante, sino crece a rachas, a veces como Big Bang. To the families here today, this achievement belongs to you too. The dreams and sacrifices of your generations have become reality today. Progress doesn't follow a steady course, but grows in spurts, sometimes like the Big Bang. For example, my maternal grandparents didn't finish primary education. In fact, until I was a teenager, none of my grandparents lived on paved roads. And although my paternal grandfather did have an education, his family didn't have indoor plumbing until I was in my teens. And then, boom, suddenly, all his kids and grandkids earned advanced degrees. My aunts, uncles, and cousins became engineers and physicians and teachers. So to the first generation graduates especially, you've not just earned a degree, you've changed the trajectory of your family's story. You are the very definition of what it means to thrive through transitions. Eso merece una celebración. That deserves a celebration. When I was an undergrad, my astronomy TA was a master's student named Neil deGrasse Tyson. I know, what a flex, right? One of the things he taught me was that while it is interesting to talk about the speed of the expansion of the universe from the Big Bang, our focus needs to be on what really matters, those things we can have impact on in our place and our context. Graduates of the College of Education, you have chosen to focus on something extraordinary, connection and human growth. Whether your major was in psychology, counseling, education, special education, health promotion, kinesiology, or exercise science, you've chosen service as your place and your context. Psychological science tells us that human connection is fundamental to who we are. Even as people report feeling distrust of each other and worry about the division in our communities, they also report significant fear of the problems that can only be solved when we work together. Dr. Daniel Dawes refers to these problems as the political determinants of health, like climate change, armed conflict, deep poverty, and disparities in education and health. These societal problems can only be solved when we work together. This paradox is at the heart of the work you're entering. In a world that sometimes feels increasingly divided, you've chosen professions that bridge those divides. It is hard work, and it can be stressful at times. So here's what I'd like you to remember. When you feel overwhelmed, focus on your place and your context. Do your personal best, ask for advice from mentors or professionals you admire, spend time with loved ones. Focus on your sleep, diet, and exercise because these crucial behaviors to coping during times of stress is the foundational trinity of physical and mental health. As leaders in your fields, you will need to make conscious choices about where to focus your energy. The best leaders I've observed share several key qualities that I hope you will cultivate. First, they understand that leadership is about making people and situations better. It's not about titles or power, it's about positive impact. They measure their success on how they have helped others succeed. So ask yourselves, how am I making things better for those I serve? Second, great leaders focus on behaviors, simply defined as keeping your word, including those promises you make to yourself. So ask yourself, what is the next best step I should take? Third, the best leaders are open to being mentors and are mentors in return. They create psychologically safe relationships that make you feel grateful to be on their team. By educating, training, and mentoring other people, we multiply our impact. Ask yourself, how can I amplify the skills and capabilities of others by creating an environment where they feel empowered and motivated to contribute their best for the communities we care about most? When I was in graduate school, my advisor, Dr. Lucia Gilbert, recommended that I speak with Dr. Melba Vasquez about my research interests. When I arrived at her office at UT's Counseling and Mental Health Center, Melba initially thought I was a client. Once she realized I was a student in the same program she had graduated from and was seeking research advice, she came around from behind her desk and sat with me on the floor next to her bookcase as we looked through journals together. That was in 1988, and that mentoring relationship has shaped my entire career. I'd like to invite my mentor and proud graduate of UT's College of Education, Dr. Melba Vasquez, to stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you. Gracias, Melba. As you advance in your careers, remember you possess the gift of becoming mentors yourselves. In the grand scheme of the universe, you are but a speck of stardust, but in the lives of those you touch, your impact can be like the Big Bang. As y'all move forward, remember that you are entering fields built for service at a time when service is desperately needed. There is so much good that needs to be done, and you're the ones best prepared for it. Your commitment to service with excellence matters profoundly. Keep in mind that you are part of something larger than yourself, a community of leaders who together can create the connections our world so desperately needs. A community of leaders proud to call themselves Longhorns. Enhorabuena. Congratulations, class of 2025. Gracias y thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. You are truly an inspiration, and we are grateful for your words of wisdom. What a special moment, and a great way to introduce the awarding of our class of 2025 degrees. So now for the main event. Our marshals will usher our undergraduate students to the stage. After our undergraduate students, we'll move on to our master's and our doctoral students. But first, I'd like to welcome our Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Richard Ojeda, to assist with announcing the names of our undergraduate candidates.
Good morning, everyone. Over the past 4 years, the advising team and I have had the pleasure of growing and getting to know many of you through your advising office and the Office of Student Affairs. Today, it is my honor of recognizing the bachelor's candidates of the College of Education's Spring 2025 graduating class. Undergraduate students that are being recognized today will receive their Bachelor of Science in Education or Applied Learning and Development, a Bachelor of Science in Athletic Training, or a Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology and Health. Graduates receiving honors will also be recognized, but graduates, please note that it is based on your current cumulative GPA, and GPAs were recalculated last night, so things might change a little bit depending on how well you did on those tests last week. We will start with the students that are receiving their Bachelor of Science in Education or Applied Learning and Development.
Jocelyn Yanez Chavez.
Camila Flores.
Go ahead, keep going.
Christopher Michael Shanks.
Ella Marie Lambert.
Keep going, keep going.
Carson Reese Lippa.
Cheyenne Eve Omedo.
Keep going, keep going.
Abigail Dawn Cottle Valdez.
Keep going.
Aiden Rain Gockling O'Brien. Mateo Elisandro Martinez.
Megan Louise Berry.
Tien Song Tran.
Soyun Stella Bay. Catherine Aline Dunnell. Catherine Penner Linkus. Ryan Haley Hochter, High Honors.
Sarah Catherine Swanson.
Ella Grace Coffey. Sarah Grace Fikes.
Keep going, keep going.
Anna Francis Ward.
Landry Ann Cockrell.
Thomas Andrew Paulson. Misbah Amin Momin.
Go ahead. Yeah. It'll change.
Jasmine Anai Saenz. Aaron Wesley Schneider.
Briseida Bautista Gonzalez.
Jessica Maria Yanes Flores.
Emily Daniela Gonzalez. Karen Nayeli Diaz Rojas.
Sara Angelica Reza Carrillo.
Keep going. Just go. Keep going. Keep going. It's going to change. It's going to change.
Nicole Santos Garcia.
Ivana Teresa Rodriguez. Ariza Sheikh.
Isabella Bear. Catherine Lesser, honors. Angel Renee Coleman. Jared Lopez. Alexa Amaro.
Ana Zenteno.
Jasmine Islas.
Jasmine Mendoza Mondragon.
Ian Grisman Fernandez. Nicole Hazelhorst Carrillo.
Diana Maria Wood. Jenna Elise Pipkin. Miriam Angelica Solano. Valeria Sandoval Lopez. Camille Adriana Reyes. Daniel Martinez. Jessica Danielle Mejia, honors. Savina Montalvo.
Miranda Therese Duran.
Jaylin Elaine Yaz. Sydney Silver. Mariana Elizabeth Mickey.
Logan Jenna Leiter, honors.
Jimena Lisette Macias. Fatima Viela Alverde.
Vivian Armendariz, honors. Sophia Nicole Gonzalez.
Emily Rayanne Standish. Mary Catherine Riley. Darian Christine Rogers, highest honors. Grace Morales, honors.
Angelina Eugene Kim, high honors.
Daria Emmanuel Maya.
Sarah Lynn Brown.
Alexandria Winter Washburn.
Emily McCall Lucas. Hannah Renee Inabinet.
Yasmin Nicole Martinez. Ashley Daniela Magno.
Angelique Marie Garcia. Laura Elizabeth Coyle, honors.
Bridget Rose Roberts.
Sarah Lydia Cassis.
Martina Madison Rodriguez. Tia Mbang.
Nadine DeLeon.
Emily Rose McCormack.
Meredith Nicole Campbell. Ava Maria DiDonato.
Selene Clark Sakaolu. Sarah Elizabeth Salinas, highest honors.
Jerry Ann Johnson. Trista Lynn Escalante.
Aspen Noel Meadows, highest honors. Amber Denise Scott.
Autumn Marie Boone. Skylar Isabella Boteo. Kimberly Guadalupe Arayanes.
Kaylee Renee Weekly.
Maddie Taylor Gadsby, honors.
Gianna Rose Marr. Amanda Gail Montgomery. Madeline Elizabeth Taylor, high honors. Leah Carol Pacelli.
Anna Elizabeth Bonin, high honors. Natalie Day Endris. Mei Yi Lu, highest honors. Ariana Elaine Eastridge.
Brianna Nicole Perez. Sarah Morgan Whitworth.
Bar 2.
Andrea Citlali Perez.
Jennifer Chen. Mackenzie Lewis. Judith Alvarado. Jennifer Ebert. Jonathan Frausto Perales. Andrew Athapol Cherionto. Fernanda Lucia Lopez. Ruth Samantha Escobar. Runa Hall.
Greta Jewel Spaniers.
Amelia Elizabeth Barnard, honors.
Elena Lei Hong Han Wen.
Regina Sarang Kim. Megan Elizabeth Garcia. Jacqueline Renee Bailly. Lily Elizabeth Benavides.
Perry Ann Rainey.
Shelby Heather Campbell.
Avery Kate Wilburn. Kendall Lynn Yanez. Hawan E. Jamie Patrick. Addison Avery Preet.
Mary Ann Graves. Grace Frances Goodson. Crystal Bailey Hayes.
Olivia Lane Seaholm, high honors. Giselle Denise Reyna.
Alessandra Kate Bain.
Emma Grace Samuels.
Caroline K. Bristol.
Amy Elizabeth Swearingen. Malik Muhyiddin, honors.
Sarah Foyt. Elizabeth Mary Locke. Emma Grace Hayden.
Catherine Elizabeth Ort. Lexi Gail Sinkle. Cora Eliana Moore.
Emmeline Grace Black. Alicia Malena Absher.
Paxton K. Schultz.
Caroline Page Cantu.
Denise Destiny Mendoza.
Peyton M. Levy, high honors. Devonte Sheheen Davis. Christina Heejin Kim.
Gary Joseph Sanchez, honors.
Chloe Carmen Figueroa. Bailey Elizabeth Borges. Omar Emiliano Lopez. Edwin Gomez.
Anna Maria Rodriguez, highest honors.
Mia Claire Collins, honors. Sandra Paulina Garcia. Anna Laura Anaya. Emma Cristina Garcia Castells. Erma Basurto. Talia Lalo Misri, honors. Sophia Christiana Bartnick, High honors. Seth Michael Conway. Hannah Nicole Grolau. Vanessa Celestino.
Libby Morgan Templeton. Ava Ray Rideout. Lauren Gale Spur. Bella Rodriguez. Ramsey Ann Richards.
Aldo Frausto. Isabel Victoria Bellard.
Mariana Galilea Sanchez.
Madeline Maria Martinez. And now we will recognize those receiving their Bachelor of Science in Athletic Training or a Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology and Health. You might just have to carry it, Brittany. Just carry it. Yeah, just congratulations.
Brenda Savariego. Mei Xiang Yu. Carolina Iden Ortega.
Alyssa Christine Campos.
Vanessa Ann Zahn.
Noemi Azucena Lopez Martinez. Angie Bongiovanni.
Hannah Nicole Williams. Alex Bryson Taylor Valdez.
Brian Gutierrez. Rebecca Carrillo Serpas.
Kundanika Venkata Sai Pisini. Jordan Nicopolis, highest honors.
Katie Ann Johnson. Polina Latova, high honors. Rachel Hernandez.
Mares Mendy.
Aaliyah Nicole Barlow. Shakima Skylia Broadnax. Cambria Amy, highest honors. Michael Obina Eze.
Corey Allison Russell, high honors. Mariah Seward. Emily Vu. Angel Sebastián Zavala Custodio.
Talia Dichter, honors. Ankita Girish. Haley Paige Kelly. Gabriella Sophia Bowl, honors. Callan Elise Brown, highest honors. Lexi Elise Halomo, honors. Maria Fernanda Guajardo Clark.
Matthew Anthony Padilla. Tobechuku Johnny Ugenzi.
Trinity Paula Byers.
Alexis Danielle Misimo.
Megan Elizabeth Kessler Wishard. Daphne Marie Bustos. Kira Emerald Lone. Yakub Emre Bayar, honors.
Liliana Nieto.
Isabella Elaine Limones. J.T. Davis III. Olivia Alanis Andino.
Silvana Rodriguez. Isabella Nicole Pianazola.
Anna Lee Hoffman. Chihao Fan, high honors.
Kylie Lee Mustasha. Jaehyun Yoon, high honors.
Samuel Anthony Kopp. Cooper Hamilton Kincannon. Jalen Gilbo.
Michael Taff.
Ashley Louise Holcomb. Robert Thompson Huthnance III.
Mark Dreben Seckler.
John Thurman Humphreys. Malcolm Bradford Downey.
Benjamin Henry Seeger.
Sarah Jessica Loomis.
Mindy Wynn.
Keep walking, it'll change.
Preeti Devareddy.
Nice job.
Corey Boucher Eason II.
You got Juan. Nice job, you got
Juan Alberto Contreras.
Keep going, it'll switch.
Cole Smiley, high honors.
Michael David Chapa. Joban Hernandez.
Keep going, keep going.
Riley Grace Hintz.
Nicole Catherine Williams.
Keep going, it'll switch.
Esteban Mauricio Zavala Yanez, high honors.
Kiana Nashe Elam.
Kalama Karina Chiteya. Stephanie Silva. Megan Ann Minus.
Jennifer Garcia Madrigal.
Noelle Jacqueline Winter.
Olivia Grace Holmes.
It'll change, keep going.
Ramitha Irinki, highest honors. Montserrat Alvarez. Carolyn Evie Kessler, honors.
Elijah Cole Sutton.
Mason Andrew Gomez.
Corinne Alexandra Reininger. Paul A. Namer. Gianna Torres. Natalisha Yaini Torres. Elena Marie Rios.
Congratulations, Holly.
Holly Gale Hull.
Jace Christopher McConnell.
Chloe Marie Dupuis.
Jeffrey Kyle Kistner. Adrian Carlos. Justin Liu. Quinn Tu Michelle Wynn.
Mary Catherine Sassaman.
Joaquin Gabriel Gonzalez.
Carlos Daniel Peña. Luis Gerardo Perez Jr. Devin Andre Ritter.
Samuel Mark Diamond.
Jacob Hong Fu Tran. Logan Christopher Petit.
Hayden Michael Boyer.
Alex Harrison Mintz.
Carlos Jimenez Jr. Casey Drew Cummings. Michael Everett Cantu II. Maria Jose Andrade.
Sophia Julia Zaldivar. Khalik Rahman.
Mackenzie Ryan Golson, honors.
Andrew Thornton, high honors. Carter James Park.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Brian Hogate.
Congratulations.
Megan Elizabeth Hogate.
Kylie Wickley. Zaylee Amber Maldonado.
Madison Renee Bernal.
Carlos Jason Montaño. Muskan Manicia, honors.
Dia Jagdish Chandra.
Andrea Carolina Martinez.
Ashley Briones Maldonado.
Samantha Danielle Ng, honors. Yuhan Zhou, honors.
Ruben Luna.
Dante Ray Perez.
Damian Leo Flores.
Daniel Thomas Rangel. Yana Elizabeth Mouton. Lauren Ashley Robinson. Jaden Julianne Martinez. Kiara B. Velez Martinez.
Catherine Emery Campbell. Landry Grace Goss, High Honors. Jada Ashley Fernandez. Benjamin Joshua Fisher.
Madison Elise Rivera.
Monique Dave.
Amy Lee Williamson, Honors. Tana Jordan Meyerson. Olivia Ann Steinbach. Whitley R.C. Horn.
Riley Elizabeth Candell, High Honors. Dylan Ruby Armour. Riley Jade Klein, Highest Honors.
Barbara Hunter Noakes, Honors. Morgan Christine Webb.
Natalie McHale Alexander. Andrew Joseph Linsyson, Jr. Jaden Christopher Hamilton. Pavin Kanumala, High Honors. Aliyah Tai Bunkam.
Wilson Sue.
Michael Dolans.
Marissa Leanne Tamez. Elijah Isaiah Mosley. Jacob Christian Tolfa. Robert Alexander Dean Meza Jr.
Israel Aaron De Leon. AJ Clarinel Alcos Gonzalez. Isaiah Gage Arriaga. Miranda Grace Coleman. Cameron Jones, Honors.
Jacob Soriano. Christian Pidlawen.
Johnny Armando Cataldi. Sam Barrett Kurdzman, Highest Honors. Griffin Robert Alpert, Highest Honors. Courtney Lane Lyles, High Honors. Shai Lamar Charles.
Ileana May Vigil. Bailey Marion Sherman.
Carson Brooke Alexander. Jesselyn Eliana Fuentes.
Marissa Page Marinchek, highest honors.
Austin Kai-An Ha. Michael William Beavers.
Alexander Paul Varela.
Rohan Gupta. Hudson Robert Holm.
Mario Macrum. Juan Alejandro Mora.
Daniela L. Bauer.
Lorenza Mendoza. Susan Elizabeth Watson. Caroline Grace McDonald.
Ileana Arispe. Tess Nicole Friedman, high honors.
Jenna Riley Zeiner, high honors. Elena Nicole Hardin Wisely.
Peyton Riley Barcelona, honors. Lauren Diana Drabeck. Lisbeth Xiomara Amaya. Alexandra Davila.
Tanner Allen Schrank.
Getty Lane. Wyatt Robertson Leathers. William Helms Lamont. Preston Robert Harold. Ryan Butler.
Trang Tao Trin.
Christopher Benavides.
Cade Dayton Schrader.
Christopher Kapp. Madeline Elise Amesqua. Caitlin Nicole Kurtz, highest honors.
Mason Cole Pedeni, highest honors. Murphy Lewis Walker III. Rohan Vishnu Rumala, honors.
Charles Harris Alcorn. Emily Jaylene Escobar. Annette Nicole Calderon Terrazas.
Morgan Michelle Rose. Christopher Pachicano. Christian Rizzi.
Casey Lynn Hodnett, honors. Riley Susanna Dyke, honors. Krista Elizabeth Freeman, high honors. Rachel Caroline Arredondo.
Samuel Monroe Wren.
Braden Dawes.
Mason Frank Pryor.
Camila Michelle Carbajal.
Hayes Alexander McCannon.
Valen Christian Jones.
Andrew Jeffrey Sullivan.
Isaac Hamilton Kohler.
Rati Venice Ralapalli.
Abigail Amalia Escobedo.
Julio Cesar Martinez Jr.
Claire Allison Lopel.
Katie Samantha Morgan. Jillian Alexandra Shimkin.
Stephen Lee. Jeremy Yebam Lee.
Jose Gabriel Sembrano.
Adesua Esther Aegbomian. High honors. Haley Justice Castillo. Chloe Ava Harris.
Daniel Said.
Alexa Ray Arevalos.
Daniel Torres. Victoria Faith Stalker.
Kennedy Lee Adam.
John Rod Bonwell Silverio. Adam Patrick Ibarbo.
Canandra Rochelle Davis.
Jenna Michelle Schmitz. Honors. Ethan Christopher Wolfert. Melanie Rivera Sandoval. Alexi Ariana Valle. Allison Renee Thornton. Brianna Reese Sokol.
Devin James Agarwal. Highest honors. Brian S. Alexander. Honors. Drew Philip Frendel. Abby Allen. Shruti Ananth.
Antonio Costa Matos.
Luke Alexander Curry. Highest honors.
Yengong Vang. Kyle Anthony Richardson.
John Thomas Bisayon.
Sarah Ziraki. Karen M. Reyes.
Jade Annette Cruz. Samantha N. Booth.
Ariana Alexia Valle.
Karime Guadalupe Hernandez. Ellie Maria Aleman. Oziel Castillo.
Sarah Evelyn Sanders. Mason Cruz Mummy.
Dorothy Emily Byerly.
Annika Brooke Willett.
Jackson Bettner. Alejandro Patricio Hopkins. Aiden Caleb Golliher.
Emma Adair Seving, highest honors.
Kendall Claire Johansson.
Kaylin Brooke Whitaker, honors. Alexandra Julia Shantz. Luke Peterson.
McKenna Kai Haynes. Armani Alexis Cavett.
Brian Scott Rose. Aaron Schilb, honors. Ana Larissa Ortiz, honors. Uxing U.
Julia Grace Fogel. Meredith Ann Adams.
Justin Warwick, high honors. Tyler C. Newton.
Emily Hernandez, honors.
Ellen Catherine Talley.
Rebecca Noel Cavazos.
Thomas Jordan Sutton, honors. Zarek Ugona Onyema. Joshua Ame Olivares.
Saif Bashiruddin Khan. Jonathan Bermejo, highest honors. Thomas Charles Averill. Tyler Scott Garcia. Omar Juarez. Alejandro Jesus Guerra. Ange Perle Iracoch. Monica Giselle Lopez. Maggie Joy Dominguez.
Emily Marie Price.
Daniel Jung. Andrew Yechan Choi.
Sarah Tran, honors. Toby Jisong Yi.
Asia Blue Garza, honors.
Joseph Timothy Palomera.
Kaylee Michelle Jaramillo. Paul Lim. Elijah Graham Bunny. Lori Areola.
Grace Elizabeth Wiesner.
Franco Andres Estrada. James Benjamin Hirschberg, honors. Drew Kaplan.
Gabriela Machado.
Michael Nicholas Graham III, high honors.
Abigail Brooke Sparkman. Brandon Reed Watson. Richard Royster Royal VI. Maya Schuler Olson.
Jacqueline Hurst. Aaron Fishman.
Ismael Melendez. Warren Allen Tedford. Joseph Edward Monarez.
Hunter Keith Jones. Evan Philip Johnson.
Emily Michelle Stampley. Aaron William Radloff, honors.
Family, friends, and guests, it's my pleasure to present the College of Education class of 2025 bachelor degree recipients. And now I'll invite Dr. Alexander Lucas, Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Studies, to announce the name of our graduate degree candidates.
Good morning. I've had the pleasure of getting to know many of you throughout your time here as students. Today, I have the honor of recognizing the master's and doctoral candidates of the College of Education's Spring 2025 graduating class. Graduate students will receive their Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Science, Doctor of Philosophy, and Doctor of Education in the following departments: Curriculum and Instruction, Educational Leadership and Policy, Educational Psychology, Kinesiology and Health Education, and Special Education. First, we will recognize students receiving their master's degree.
Vincent Michael Vladik, Master of Education in Kinesiology.
Jide Yinka Adebiyi, Master of Science in Kinesiology. Xinshuan Liu, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Natalie Acha, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Samira Mohammed, Master of Education in Special Education. Olivia Voroski, Master of Education in Special Education.
Ariana L. Castillo, Master of Education in Special Education.
Rachel Shelton, Master of Education in Special Education.
Shannon Lee, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Han Lu, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Christy Nyung Pham, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. Brenda Moctezuma Barrientos, Master of Education in Special Education.
Jillian Cuddy, Master of Education in Special Education.
Olivia Grace Patz, Master of Education in Special Education.
Catherine Davis, Master of Education in Special Education. Annalie Garcia, Master of Arts in Educational Psychology.
Na Young Yoon, Master of Education in Educational Psychology.
Jesse Anthony Esparza, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3. Ginger Lee Freeman, Master of Education in Educational Psychology. Ingrid Andrea Flores Granados, Master of Education in Educational Psychology.
Haley Skinner, Master of Education in Educational Psychology.
Crystal Altman, Master of Education in Kinesiology. Kaylee Kendrick, Master of Education in Special Education.
Jennifer Ryan, Master of Education in Special Education. Sophia Heyman Sun, Master of Education in Special Education. Shang-Yi Zhang, Master of Education in Special Education.
Mariah Kirker, Master of Education in Special Education. Emiliana Lanz Picon, Master of Education in Special Education.
Shirley Wong, Master of Education in Special Education.
Zhu Ying Lai, Master of Education in Special Education.
Monica Ha-Mi Vu, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Afifa Dadani, Master of Education in Kinesiology.
Ria Pradhan, Master of Science in Kinesiology.
Kelly Fetters, Master of Education in Kinesiology.
Megan Elizabeth Templeton, Master of Arts in Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Education.
Brandon Price Butler, Master of Arts in Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Education. Jessica Cortez, Master of Arts in Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Education. Desiree Lama, Master of Arts in Educational Psychology. Ko Jae-eun, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction.
Gabriel D. Parada, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Maria Jose Echeverria, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. Javiera Giloff, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. J. Wan Julie Bach, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. George Guckenberger, Master of Education in Educational Psychology.
Derek Pruitt, Master of Education in Educational Psychology.
J.C. Breedlove, Master of Education in Educational Psychology.
Asia Hawkins, Master of Education in Kinesiology. Anna Grace Gary, Master of Education in Special Education. Claire Bond, Master of Education in Special Education. Brianna Corinne Nicole Harris, Master of Education in Special Education. Hannah Cruz, Master of Education in Special Education. Ethan Dew, Master of Education in Special Education. Sawyer McKinley Tice, Master of Education in Special Education. Joshua Ray Gonzalez, Master of Education in Special Education. Haley Whitehead, Master of Education in Special Education. Jaeying Xu, Master of Education in Special Education.
Nicole Rose Zappala, Master of Education in Kinesiology Option 3. Jordan Brooklyn Smith, Master of Education in Kinesiology Option 3.
Logan Hardy, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Alexis Martinez, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Alma Y. Hernandez, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Claudia Guadalupe Aguilar Garcia, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Frank Carlson, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Irashima Y. Prats Mendoza, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Linda Christine Miranda, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Paul J. Hernandez, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Tamika Good Scott, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Susan Torres, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Manoj Kaushik, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Laura Rodriguez Tenorio, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Scott L. Elder, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Guillermo Tabasco Jr., Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Kaylee Spalding, Master of Education in Health Behavior and Health Education.
Roderick Nicole Hernandez, Master of Education in Health Behavior and Health Education. Raquel Cameron Hopkins, Master of Education in Health Behavior and Health Education.
Dana Ernestine Mosby, Master of Education in Health Behavior and Health Education. Gabrielle Nicole Nunez, Master of Education in Health Behavior and Health Education.
Christian Corral, Master of Education in Health Behavior and Health Education. Case Matthew Garza, Master of Education in Health Behavior and Health Education.
Carla Robinson, Master of Arts in Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Education.
Brianna Green, Master of Education in Kinesiology.
Anna Tackett, Master of Education in Kinesiology. Federico Poncini, Master of Education in Kinesiology.
Dylan Fillinger, Master of Education in Kinesiology. Joseph Edward Barrett, Master of Education in Kinesiology. Madeline Hebert, Master of Education in Kinesiology. Shania Athena Luna, Master of Education in Kinesiology. Reagan Claire Lewis, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Elaine Stokes, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Liam Joseph Millett, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction.
Vicki L. Kite, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Bernice Calderon, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Grace Adeyemi, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. Candace Carice Green, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3.
Reagan Tanguma, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. Nicole Matheny, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction.
Bronwyn Ann Baker, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction.
Jessica Popper Will, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. Alexis Nicole Ramos, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Kiera Ann Penkoff, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Eric A. McPherson, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Casey Jewel Wright, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Zion Dwayne James, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Michael Paredes, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction.
Kenneth Isaac Jimenez, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. Violet Glennewinkle, Master of Education in Educational Psychology. Flor Castellanos Sanchez.
M.A. Vera Wilkerson, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction.
Colin Jordan Buckley, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3. Tess Mackenzie Doyle, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3.
Yu Hao Yang, Master of Education in Educational Psychology.
Philip Anthony Dueñez, Jr., Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3. Lloyd W. Graham, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Giovanna Urbina, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Micaiah James, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Stephen Perez, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Katrina Lynn Perez, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Araceli Gonzalez, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Jocelyn Rivera Ortiz, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Brooke Maxanne Measles, Master of Science in Kinesiology.
Lauren O. Lara, Master of Education in Kinesiology.
Valentina Zelaya, Master of Education in Special Education.
Alma Sofia Garcia Lopez, Master of Education in Special Education. Holly L. Lorenzana, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction.
Rama Tandon, Master of Education in Special Education.
Roman Garcia, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3.
Priscilla Wood White, Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Rachel Waite, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3.
Allison Barbara Sear, Master of Education in Special Education.
Katie Barnacle McLean, Master of Education in Special Education.
Haley Leigh Ann Keitel, Master of Education in Kinesiology.
Jennifer Waters, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3. Benjamin Seifert, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3.
Aaron James Hughes, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3.
Kaylin M. Reynolds, Master of Education in Kinesiology, Option 3. Eka Ratnasari, Master of Arts in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education. Jordan Mosley, Master of Education in Special Education.
We will now recognize our doctoral candidates. Faculty should be lining up with their students near the stage in preparation for the hooding process. After their name is called, each doctoral graduate will have their hood placed on their shoulders by a faculty member. Hooding is a time-honored tradition dating back centuries when academics wore a hood to stay warm. Today, the hood is mostly symbolic and represents one's commitment to a life of scholarship. The act of hooding from teacher to student also holds great significance and marks the completion of their studies. Let's begin with our first doctoral candidate. Let's begin.
Mario Armando Villa, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Casilda Godoy Clarich, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Bethany Jane Hamilton, PhD in Educational Psychology. Temesgen Asmarom, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Kevin Garcia, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. August Leon Max Hamilton, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Sarah Alexandra Butner Pittman, Doctor of Philosophy in Health Behavior and Health Education.
Jacob Edward Thomas, Doctor of Philosophy in Health Behavior and Health Education. Ryan Andrew Mata, PhD in Educational Psychology.
Catherine Miranda Chang Parsi, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction.
Jae Kyung Willows, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education.
Leslie Isis Hernandez Silva, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Patricio Erhard, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education. Chelsea Charan, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education.
Molly Elizabeth Newton, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Wajiha Saqib, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Sylvia Blair Barrows Payne, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education.
Eleni Hatsoglu, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education. Kenya Giselle Cruz, PhD in Educational Psychology.
Kimberly Dawn Waltman, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Is this yours? Because it's not mine.
Gay Len Rosser, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Mary Elizabeth Alvarez, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Matthew Baker, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction. Aaron Green, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction. Jessica Wolcott Luther, Doctor of Philosophy in Kinesiology.
Mickey L. Phillips, Doctor of Philosophy in Kinesiology.
Kiosha Harris, PhD in Educational Psychology. Shayna Hall Jones, PhD in Educational Psychology. Grace Eun-Hye Ko, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction.
Anthony Martinez, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Bethany Anderson Morrison, Doctor of Philosophy in Health Behavior and Health Education.
Stephanie Strayer, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Lauren Henderson Owens, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Catherine Elizabeth Ramirez, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Kimberly Pack Cosme, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Adam O. Aguirre, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction. Judith Lenderos, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction.
Selena Martinez Nichols, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction.
Rena Maria Flores Medrano, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Chantal Brown, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Kia Lanice Hill, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Ismael Amaya, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy. Savneet Bedi Baines, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Chioma Mba, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Sarah Ann Mason, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education. Jennifer Leslie Spears, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Danielle Orchant La Riviere, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education. Yu Ting Liu, Doctor of Philosophy in Special Education.
Victoria Saba, Doctor of Philosophy in Health Behavior and Health Education.
Holland Patricia Kowalkowski, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction. Huajian Gao, PhD in Educational Psychology.
Ana Sofia Osegueda, PhD in Educational Psychology.
Ariel Chasin, PhD in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education. Jiwon Kim, PhD in Educational Psychology. Soo-young Kim, PhD in Educational Psychology. Sage Anderson, PhD in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education.
Karina del Carmen Mendez Perez, PhD in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education.
Alexandra Renee Aguilar, PhD in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education.
Sonur Ozturk, PhD in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education. Ty Austin Ripma, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Alejandro Gongora, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Eva Elizabeth Casas, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Jennifer T. Garcia, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Jose Arturo Garza, Jr., Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy. Laban Daniel James III, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Tien Nguyen, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Policy.
Daniela Cherry, Doctor of Philosophy in Kinesiology.
Ruby Amanyarko, Doctor of Philosophy in Kinesiology.
Lin Chang Chen, Doctor of Philosophy in Kinesiology.
Jieding Wang, Doctor of Philosophy in Kinesiology. Jiahui Zhao, Doctor of Philosophy in Kinesiology.
Family members, friends, and guests, it's my pleasure to present the College of Education Class of 2025 Master's and Doctoral Degree graduates.
Parents and friends, familia y comunidad, I present to you the spring 2025 graduates of the College of Education at the University of Texas at Austin. Class of 2025, you have so much to be proud of. Today is your day to shine, and I know your light will burn a bright burnt orange for all the days ahead. I hope you can all continue the celebration of your achievements this evening at the university-wide commencement ceremony, which honors all 2025 graduates from all 17 degree-granting colleges and schools, and will take place at 7:30 at DKR. Gates open at 5 p.m. Guests do not need a ticket to attend. Please note that a clear bag policy is in place for this event. More information about this event and prohibited items like strollers and umbrellas can be found on the commencement website. Graduates who wish to sit on the field and graduate seating tonight must have a ticket, and the link for your ticket is available on the commencement website. When I present you to the university president this evening, let's all show how loud your College of Education can be. It is a contest, to be clear. I get 45 seconds, and every dean competes with every other dean, and usually our College of Ed students do this when I call their names. Because we're humble, all right? So we're gonna practice right now. When I call you to stand in front of the entire university community, what am I gonna hear from you graduates? You are the change makers. You are delivering something that no other graduates at UT are going to deliver to the world. So if you're ever going to yell and shout, all the business students are going to yell, I promise. Engineering students, they know how to yell. You're going to surprise that entire crowd this evening. When I stand up, I should not be able to hear myself speak to the entire stadium. Congratulations. I want to offer a sincere thank you to everyone who has joined us today for this incredible special moment. Family and friends, there will be another ceremony starting shortly after ours, so we kindly ask that all family and guests exit out of the east, south, west exits. As the graduates are ushered out, look for signal callers if you're not sure where to go. There are ushers who will guide you to those exits, and you'll join up in the east and southwest plaza entrance for photos and celebrations. So now, graduates, friends, and families, please rise. Felicidades. Congratulations. Hook 'em horns.